thanks to the support as a channel member, Elizabeth Boyd. Well, I thought everything was going really rather well. I've come in, I've won 6 out of 10 games at the Raging Mackerel. I've signed some decent players. I've got more coming in at the end of the season. And I might be about to get sacked. And I don't really know why, because I've got the club out of the relegation zone, which is what the pre-season goal was. Avoid relegation from the Thai League 3 West. That's the league we're in. I'm avoiding relegation from it. We now can't get relegated with 2 games to go. I'm 10 points clear. But my job security is insecure. The board are disappointed at my performance against that objective. Specifically, they're disappointed that the team is currently only on course to achieve a mid-table position. Most complete version of the game ever. I assume this is a database issue or a Football Manager being dumb issue. I've even had a media message saying I'm in danger of being sacked. My decisive fixture, a bad result could seal my fate. Just to clarify, that's how horrible the results were before I arrived. This is where I arrived. We won our first 4 games. We then also won our first... or 5 of our first 7. Yeah, we lost 3 in a row, which is not ideal, but we have just won again. And like I say, we're 10 points clear of the relegation zone. We were in the relegation zone when I arrived. We're 10 points clear of it. And yeah, if I get sacked, I'll be quite cross. I guess we'll see what's going to happen. I have also done some transfers, as mentioned. The transfer window has now opened and closed. We let a player leave, Kanta Kamatsu, who I think you saw play in the last episode. He wanted to go back to Japan, so that's exactly what he's done. But we have replaced him with a few more. So we brought in. Hold on, who did we bring in? That was the kid that I brought in, but then couldn't register. As you can see, they're now registered, and I've played them a couple of times. This guy this is nothing to do with me. I think he was prearranged to come in before I arrived. Mohammed Reza Falahian, who he's the reason we had to get rid of Kamatsu, because you're only allowed 6 foreigners. He made it 7, so we had to get rid of one of them. But he was prearranged. He just turned up when the window opened, and it was nothing to do with me. But these guys I did sign. Thamarat Nilwong, 2 stars current ability, 5 star potential as a 20-year-old. We also signed Poramat Sonwisat, an 18-year-old. Thai, another right winger, can also play up front, 2.5 stars current ability, 5 stars of potential. We've signed this guy on loan, Ratapol Kaikau, who is very, very good, as you can see, very good. But obviously only got him in for a few matches because he's only in on loan. And then we signed another goalkeeper, Natapat Maktuam, who again, pretty good. One that we've got in mind for next season, potentially. And talking of next season, we've already got this guy joining us as soon as the transfer window opens again. Pakpum Lolthong, who is very, very good, and he's going to force me to change system. I think a 4-2-3-1 is in my future so that we can play with an attacking midfielder, which is what he is. So lots of exciting signings, but it might mean nothing if I get sacked now. So this is the team. It's Rujing in goal, a back four of Klomjit, who, if you remember, he was playing right wing in the last episode. He then moved back to right back, and he's now playing left back. So he's at right back. Then we've got Barbie and Mori, who have been together for as long as I've been here at centre back. And then at right back, we've got Sang Prakai, who's not very good. He's one of a few players we've called up from the youth team, even though he's played most games this season. He was in the youth team when I arrived, I believe. He's been called up into the first team. Falahian is at the base of the midfield. We've then got this guy, Sitisu Wankel. He's in midfield. Alongside Thong Kao, who is pretty useful. That suggests not. He looks good in the match engine, and that's important. Up front, we've got Watana Photong, who is a youngster who's come through our youth system and looks like quite a bright prospect. And then on the left, it's Thong Sawad, who we signed. No, we didn't. We brought him up from the youth system. I can't keep track of who's who here, boys and girls. And Son Wisat, who can play on either wing. And I did sign him. So it's quite rotated because we're now safe. Obviously, we still need the win, but I also still need to work out who's going to be good for next season, which is why we don't need to be using the likes of Sukyu, who we know is good, China Rong, we know is good. We're trying to kind of work out what's going on next year. And just assuming the game's not going to do anything thick, I really hope it doesn't sack me, because we've absolutely destroyed the objective we were set. If I get fired, that's a problem. This team we're playing, by the way, Muangkan, have won this league the last 2 years in a row, but didn't get promoted, because winning the league doesn't guarantee promotion. Winning the league gets you into a playoff, and they've been winning it and then losing in the playoff. So they're now in mid-table this year, but are still a good team, having won the league 2 years in a row in the 2 years previously. So I am expecting to lose today, and just hoping that it doesn't result in me getting fired. This is a game I'm supposed to lose. We're away from home against a team who are much better than we are. If they beat us and I get fired, that's bonkers. And I will leave Thailand after 2 episodes feeling a little bit hard done by, because it's actually going really well. We're putting together a decent team. We're playing good football. We're winning more matches than we're losing. We still haven't drawn a game here yet. We've brought in good players. We've got more good players on the way. We've got spare money in our wage budget, and players are willing to sign for us. Everything is looking good. I genuinely think, get me a proper end of season transfer window under my belt and a replacement goalkeeper, and I think we can get promoted next year, or at least be in a promotion race. But I might not get to that point, because usually when the game gives you that message of, oh, bad result in the next game could be decisive, I genuinely am a little bit worried that I'm about to get sacked through what I can only describe as a bug or a glitch or just a very upsetting situation. I guess we'll see what happens. We might be doing another job hunt, though, and never returning to Thailand because the league is broken. Oh, yeah, this is not going very well at all today, is it? We maybe shouldn't have rotated. The thing is, I don't know how serious the game is about firing me, because I, as the manager who is planning for next season now, this makes the most sense. Play the players we want to have a look at, work out who's who, start planning for next year. This makes all the sense in the world. There's no threat of us getting relegated, and we're not in particularly poor form. So I'm trying to play the game as if it's not broken. I don't really want to get to the point where I'm trying to cheese things because it's broken. And I don't even know that it is broken. It could just as likely be a glitched media message as it is a glitched board being upset with me when they shouldn't be situation. So the only way to find out which it is to play the match and see what happens. And I can't make my decisions trying to second guess the game. We just have to play the team that I feel like is the right team to play. We're learning that some of these youngsters aren't up to it, which is a useful thing to learn. I just hope I don't get fired. I really don't. I'm very much enjoying this club, and we've now had one of our youngsters sent off, so we know he's not up to it. See, we're learning. We're learning together, and that's important. This is not going very well at all. Right, I think we have to bring Sanoon on, and we're going to bring him on for one of these midfielders. I think we take off him, and we swap those two around, and we do that. And we take our medicine. We probably lose 5 or 6-0 now, and it might seal my fate. It really might, and that will be heartbreaking. And there will be elements of the comments who are like, Kev, reload and play the game properly. It's broken. You shouldn't be getting fired here. I won't do that. I will take what's coming. And sometimes when you play these massive databases and massive saves, you have to accept that weird stuff is going to happen. We saw plenty of weird stuff in Dubai. We might see some weird stuff here in Thailand as well. I just hope we don't. Oh no. We've not played well at all, have we? That's the biggest issue. If the board were on the fence, which they shouldn't be, I'll keep emphasizing they shouldn't be. If the board are on the fence, this might be enough just to tip them over the edge. We've taken an absolute thumping. Never mind the fact that this is the team that won the league 2 years in a row, and we're not that far behind them in the table. I mean, if we look at the points the points tallies, we're only, 8 points behind the team that won the league last year as a team that was supposed to get relegated this year. So we're doing well. It's very upsetting. We've not had a shot on target, which certainly doesn't help my case at all. But we do have another corner here, and it's going to be Son Wissat to whip one in to that near post where Kevin Barbie is knocking around, but unfortunately can't get proper contact with him. But it's Son Wissat again. He shoots and misses by 1,000 miles. I mean, he may as well have just kicked the ball out over the top of the stadium and not worried about where it ended up. It was about as effective as that. Right, there you go. We're making our last two changes. That might be my final act as manager of the Raging Mackerel. Mackerel. And I'll be heartbroken if I get fired here, because it's just an injustice. I've never been unjustly fired in 30 years of playing Football Manager. I've never been unjustly fired. I've been fired a few times. It doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, I know I deserve it. If it happens here, I'm going to be a grumpus. And there's no way of getting around the grumpiness that you're going to see from me if I get fired. But hopefully, like I say, hopefully it's just a glitch with the media message. Maybe. Oh, I mean, we're very toothless, aren't we? We're playing like a team who are in much worse form than we are. Because weirdly, the club atmosphere is abysmal as well. Managerial support is abysmal. All the dynamics are shattered. Even with this defeat, we've still won more matches than we've lost since I've been in charge as a team that was in the relegation zone. But I mean, you can see there, that is the shot of a man who is absolutely bereft of confidence and belief that you don't normally get when you're in reasonably good form, which we are. So something somewhere within the morale calculator of the game, it's just a little bit broken. And I haven't been fired yet. Am I closer to being fired? No. I'm still insecure. They're still disappointed. But I think I'm getting to do my last game. Whether or not I'll get a new contract, my contract is up at the end of the season, remains to be seen. But we've got 2 weeks now to see if I get called into the board or if I get to play the final game of the season. And then we just wait and see if I get a new contract, presumably. Well, I've had the media message again. If we head back to the inbox, where is it? It was in, there you go. Apparently I need a win in this final game of the season to emphasise once again, we just had to avoid relegation. It is impossible for anyone other than those two teams to be relegated. We could finish 10th. That's not relegation. I'm still not sticking all the first teamers out though. I feel like I need to treat it as if it's going to be fine. So we're trying a couple of young fullbacks. This one, Sriwari, has come up from the youth system. He's got lots of potential, and we've also got Kochanda, we've played him at centre back a couple of times. You've seen me use him at centre back, but we're going to try him at left back today. And we're also trying our new goalkeeper, Maktuam, who hopefully will be a bit of a step up on the fella we had in there before. Let's get this team submitted, and let's hopefully win the match, so we don't have to worry about whether the game's broken. But part of me is intrigued about whether the game's broken and is like, well, what if we lose? What happens? But obviously, I want the win. I want the win. I want to end the season on a high, because if we lose this one, we'll have then lost the same amount of games as we won, which is it's not relegation form, but it's certainly not form for a team that's going to be threatening at the top half of the table next year. New keeper, not covering himself in glory just yet, is he? I mean, he got away with it, but goalkeepers seem like they're a bit of a challenge in this league. That was a big XG chance as well. Right, here we go. Can we get some nice goalkeeper distribution? He's a big boy, 6'3". He's got a big kick on him, hasn't he? Look at the length on that one. But it does come straight back. And yeah, I mean, that's got to be offside. Referee, linesman, anybody. Linesman's got his flag up. I think we're good. I mean, he was absolutely acres offside, and luckily we have a referee who was paying attention this time. There's been some very questionable decisions from the officials since I've been here in Thailand. There's no such thing as VAR here, and I never thought I'd miss it, but there are the odd occasion where I'm like, oh, you know what? Some VAR would be quite handy in this situation. If you remember as well, my first game was against Samut Songkhram United. So we have managed this team for more than half the matches we've played this year. I think this is the 12th match I've been in charge of the 22 the team have played over the course of the season as a whole. So I have to take some responsibility for us to being in the bottom half of the table, although I think we only had something like 5 or 6 points after 10 games when I arrived. So I think we'd probably be up here in mid-table if I'd managed us for the entire season. But the board presumably would have been upset about that because they can't interpret the league table properly. That's some good work winning the ball back. I think he's offside. This is another one of those questionable decisions if it gets given. The flag is up again. That linesman has gone from hero to villain. But it was good play. It was just a delayed pass to return it back to him. And now Murray, our centre-back and captain for the day, takes the free kick, but rather than whacking it at the goal, which is what a centre-back should do from there, he's floated it into for people to head. I mean, if he's going to do that, he should be on the end of it. He's one of our centre-backs. He shouldn't be taking that and floating it over into the penalty area like that. It's madness. And now they've got in behind, and our left-back has got across and made the covering interception. But, I mean, it's chaos at the back at the moment. We're going to offer some encouragement. We're not playing very well. I don't think Photong is the answer for us at centre forward. This is 2 full games he's had for us now, and he's not the one, is he? That's why it was so valuable to play him, because now we know he isn't the answer. We are shuffling a few other things around in here as well. This is our exciting youngster who I think is going to be quite an important part of the team next year, as you can see by his average rating of 6.6. He's not quite there just yet, but the star rating tells me he's going to be very, very good, and hopefully he will fulfill that potential, and as he gets older, start to become a more important part of the team. We've got some good assortments of attacking midfielders next year. That new boy coming in, plus him still being around as well. And what we don't have is any central midfielders to bring on here. So we'll just change defenders, swap the defenders around, make a few substitutions. Have we got a last minute winner just to make sure I don't accidentally get fired? No, apparently we don't. This is going to be horrible. I mean, we've not played poorly today, but you have to remember we are the home team against one of the few teams in the league who are below us. So we've also not played very well. I think there is a lot of work to do on this transfer window if I'm given the opportunity to do it. And that's a big if. There is money and there is reputation at the club to bring some in. Chanarong's got in here and he scored, and that could be huge for keeping me at the club. And I think it's being disallowed again. Oh, it's just disallowed goals all over the place today. I mean, I am starting to feel hard done by. We should be ahead in this game, and it's a little frustrating that we're not. So frustrating that it sounds like my postman's just arrived. Oh, parcel received. Are we winning yet? No, we're not. It's the 90th minute. Can we have a goal here? Maybe the postman's lucky. Wouldn't that be a thing? Oh, lucky old postman, come back. I've got a new assistant manager and he currently works for Royal Mail. Lovely stuff. A 90th minute winner against our local-ish rivals. And that might just be the goal that saved my job, even though it shouldn't have needed saving. If I still get fired off the back of this, I'm going to be disgruntled. That's for sure. That was a lovely goal, though. Was that the kid? Oh, there you go. That's his moment. That's his coming of age moment. He's going to be a star for us next year. So that is our final league position confirmed. Was that 9th place? 8th place. There you go. I mean, come on board. Don't be silly. Can we? There you go. He's grateful for my faith, as he should be. Club vision. I'm stable. I've passed. They just couldn't interpret the league table until it was finalised. Now it is. They're pleased we've achieved a mid-table position, considering we look like relegation strugglers. It was just a weirdly glitched out media message. I wonder if things would have been different if we'd have lost that game. Probably not, because I think once the league table was finalised, it did understand what was going on. So I am safe for next season. We're not going to look at that. We're going to focus on this and hope that I still get decent budgets for next year and can do a decent transfer window and put together a team that can be properly competitive next year. That's the plan, and I think I can do it based on how easy transfers have been so far compared to what they were like at Precision. We'll just pretend precision never happened. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.